expected. So for the next hour, Jonathan, all of us are wondering, what does Micro Daily and Engage Global Products have to do with aging gracefully? Because a lot of people aren't aging gracefully today. As a matter of fact, they 50 years old look like they're 100 years old. So is there a way to make us look a little younger and feel a little bit better? You have the platform. We're looking forward to hearing how. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Bernard. And you're absolutely right. It's a challenge to try to to age gracefully, and that's why this subject, in my opinion, is a very important one. But I wasn't the first one to think that this was an important idea. It was Dr. Prasad that decided that the subject of anti-aging was significant and that people needed to know about it. And he did a deep dive and did some research to attack the subject. Wrote a scientific paper on the subject, not just an opinion. He wrote a scientific paper on the subject, and then it was published. So the whole world could see this brilliant man's research. So instead of calling our discussion anti-aging, I decided to alter the theme a little bit and call it aging gracefully. Because some people think that when you say anti-aging, that somehow or another we found the fountain of youth, and we did what Ponce de Leon was trying to do, and we got this magic elixir that's going to stop you from aging, and that's simply not the case. But and Dr. Prasad was never making that claim. He was never making that claim. He was just making the claim, the assertion that it was possible to age gracefully, to get older, but not necessarily have to experience the ravages of aging, the crippling effects of what oxidative stress does to the body. You hear that word oxidative stress, and I'm hoping that folks who have been here a number of times don't just get desensitized by that expression, oxidative stress. Please don't. Understand something. Oxidative stress is bad. Every single thing that's wrong with you, everything that goes wrong with us, is precipitated by a free radical and oxidative stress, something that did damage at the cellular level. That's just a fact. So, but Dr. Prasad has taken this to an entirely different level. So before we get our discussion started, understand something. The FDA has not evaluated the statements that we're making. Testimonies that you're going to hear are purely anecdotal. Results are atypical, and we have to really emphasize that. What happens to one person may or may not happen to you. Engage makes no claims. Micro Daily, Collagen Daily, Omega Daily, Brain Boost, or any of the Engage Global products will treat or cure any disease, because only the government can declare a nutritional supplement to be a treatment or cure for a disease state. But we have a story. Before we introduce Dr. Prasad, I've got a story that I don't think he's heard it before. And I know that Jeff has, and most have probably heard the story. But I'd like to share it because I think that it will kind of illustrate what happens when someone who has reached advanced age experiences the apparent reversal of many of their issues. Because I think that illustrates what Dr. Prasad has published in his paper all about. So the woman's name is Virginia Guilbeaux, and Virginia Guilbeaux came out of the blue. And one day she says, I want to tell my story. And I said, well, okay, Miss Guilbeaux, we want to hear your story. And it started really with, I got a phone call in the middle of the night. It was 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and it scared me half to death. You know how you get phone calls like that? You just think, oh my God, who died? You know, because who's calling me at this time in the morning? But it turns out Virginia was watching some conferences, one of Dr. Prasad's conferences discussion, and she somehow came across my name and my phone number and pushed the button by mistake. And she hung up right away. But I called her back early in the morning. She just apologized up and down. She says, I'm 91. I didn't mean to call you. I said, Miss Guilbeaux, never apologize. You can call me anytime you want to, ma'am. And she said, I want to tell my story. and it was just, to me, it was just the most touching and heartwarming thing to hear, because my mother-in-law, at the time that Virginia told the story, my mother-in-law was also 91 years old and was experiencing a lot of the very same things, the similar things that Virginia was experiencing. My mother had experienced some of those things. So let me just see if I can get this to play for you folks. So give me 1 second here. I brought it up, and I think I got to create a brand new share. I'm going to speed it up too, so you're going to hear it, and possibly initially you may hear it, at normal speed, but I am going to speed it up a little bit because she talks a little bit slow, and that's not a criticism, just an observation. And I want you to hear the entire story that she shared with us. All right, I'm going to turn the volume up, and then, like I said, I'm going to speed it up a little bit, okay? I'm going to take it from 1x to 1.5x. All right, that would be the whole story.
Okay. Was sponsored by my sister, Evelyn Burns. She's 84. I'm 91. Mm-hmm. And the reason I decided to look at this business is because she sent me a videotape, and I wasn't going to bother with it, but something said, well, look at it, because it was talking about a doctor on there. And me and her are very we're very self-conscious about our health. We love to hear about health. And so I said, well, I'm going to look at it. Let me see what this doctor got to say. I looked at the tape, and I tell you, before I got through the tape, a lady came on there with her testimony. And she was talking about two of the issues that I had, health issues that I had. And I couldn't imagine, I couldn't hardly wait to get off that, finish looking at the tape. But anyway, I finished looking at the tape, and I was figuring around trying to see if I could get another video. And I suffer with two of them. She had a few things wrong with her, but I have two specific things, health issues. And that's congestive heart failure, mm-hmm. and rheumatoid arthritis.
Okay.
And this is what got me. And she said she was taking this product. It was in a green bottle, original EMF.
Uh-huh.
And she also said she was taking the brain boost.
Uh-huh.
And so as soon as I signed up, I ordered those two products.
Uh-huh. And what are you noticing?
I wanted the same thing she took. And I ordered those products, but when my products came, I couldn't hardly wait for them to come. But when they came about 5 days later. I started taking them, and I started taking them just like she said she was taking. She was doubling up on them. So I doubled up on them too. And I took those products. I tell you, before I started taking the product, I could not walk from my bedroom to the bathroom without being out of breath and winded. I would get to the bathroom and I would have to lean over on the sink to wash my face. And then my lower part of my back would be hurting me. And I would put the toothpaste on the toothbrush, and I'd have to sit down on the toilet to brush my teeth. And I would, before that, I couldn't even go in my kitchen and get me a glass of water. I would have to lean over on the sink because my back would be killing me, and I would be out of breath, winded. To get my water, I have a stool sitting by the sink, and I would have to sit on that sink to drink my water. Well, the third day after I took this product and did exactly what I thought that lady said to do, that she was doing, I got up off the bed. I woke up and got up off the bed and just walked into the bathroom, not thinking. Usually I would have to get up and sit on the edge of the bed and then sit a few minutes and catch my breath and then get up and go in the bathroom. But I wasn't even thinking. I got up and just walked on in the bathroom and stood up there and brushed my teeth, washed my face. And I didn't think about it till I got back into the bedroom. I said, well, what? To myself, I said, well, I didn't even have to lean or sit. But anyway, that same day, my daughter, she said to me, now this is the third day, only the third day I'm taking this micro daily and the brain boost. So I said, my daughter said to me, she said, Mama, she said, I want you to go with me to this convention. My daughter promotes BBD oil. And that, the company was having a convention in Atlantic City. I live in New York. Well, I said to her, I said, Linda, I don't think I can go. I said, you know how I get winded just walking. And she said, well, Mama, just please come. She said, she kept insisting, please come. She said, just lean on the Lord, lean on God. And that's what I tell her sometimes when she, you know, have a problem. I said, girl, lean on the Lord, lean on God. He'll take you through. So she gave me back the same message I give her. So she kept insisting. She said, Mama, you know, ain't too many people got a 91-year-old mother that's living. And I want to show these people what a blessing I have. You living and you're 91 years old. And she kept insisting. So I went on to the convention with her. But she was thinking that to go to the convention, Amtrak, we had to take Amtrak. Well, Amtrak takes you straight through. But when we got to the Pennsylvania Railroad, the Amtrak wasn't going straight through because they was working on the tracks. And we had to walk. We had to change and take 3 trains. And I tell you, the first train, we had to walk the equivalent of, I would say, 2 to 3 blocks. And there I was with my walk. But I was walking behind her. And every once in a while, she would look back and she said, Mama, you doing good. And one time she said that I just threw my hand up. I said, to God be the glory. And we made it to the next, to that train. We had to go to another train. And that was about a long block. And all of it, that was about 4 long blocks I had walked. And I just couldn't get over it. And Linda couldn't get over it either, I'm sure. But anyway, we made it to the convention. And when I got to the convention, I was able to go to every meeting for the 2 days with her. And I was just surprised at myself. So we got back home. And on the 22nd of October, now I joined Engaged Global on the 26th of September. I had a birthday party for my niece, who is the daughter of a sister of ours. We come from a family of children of 12, and I'm the 9th child. But my sister's daughter had a birthday party, and so many people came from all over. We have a large family. They came from all over the country. All her sisters and brothers, except the 2 that's deceased, came. And I went to the party. When I was at the party, everybody started dancing. And for some reason, I threw that stick aside and I went to dancing with them. And my nieces and nephews and family members, me being the matron of the family, they could not get over it. And I couldn't get over it myself. I threw that stick aside. I didn't even take the walker with me. And I could not get over it myself. Well, I had a ball that night. To God be the glory. I just thank God for giving Dr. Prasad the knowledge to invent this product. I'm telling you, I'm in here now, almost about to shout, just talking about it. And then a few days ago, I haven't cooked a meal, not even breakfast. I haven't cooked a meal in, I would say, about before 2015. And 2019, they put a ICD in my body, which means it's a pacemaker and a defibrillator combined. Mm-hmm. And I still was having a problem. So I knew it was this product. The reason I wasn't having the problem breathing and was able to walk all those blocks, I said, it had got to be this product. And so I went in the kitchen and my right hand is a little crooked up from the arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis. Well, I wasn't even able to cut up an apple or say peel an apple before I took this product. But do you know, I've cut up a whole cabbage.
Oh, wow.
With this cooked up hand.
Oh, wow.
And cooked some cornbread and rice and whatever else I wanted. And I hadn't cooked or tried to cut up nothing. I wasn't able to cut up nothing, not even the apple, before I took this product. And I just want people, I try to tell it now everywhere I see somebody, everybody come in the house, I'm talking about it. But I just want whoever is under the sound of my voice, if you just try this product. It may not do for you what it did for me, but I tell you, if it don't hurt you, it certainly won't harm you. So please try it. And I want to say one more thing. The Bible said, all those that Jesus touched was healed. But when she touched him, she was made whole. And I want to say, as long as I live, I intend to touch micro daily. And I believe if I touch this micro daily, as long as I live, because I told my girlfriend the other day, I was going to live to be 100. I said, because 99 and a half won't do. And I believe if I continue to touch micro daily, I'm going to be made whole. God bless everybody. Oh, and then another thing, I just want to say this too. I'm forgetting about some of the things that said. I had knots on my knees, you know, and on each side of my outer kneecap, and that was from the arthritis. And not only that, when it would swell up, it would start hurting me when I walk. It was like bone on bone, and oh, it was so painful. But do you know I looked down a couple of days ago, and do you know I don't even see them knots on my leg. And my knees is looking like they looked when I was 25 years old or 20 years old. I just can't believe it. Try this product. And God will bless you like he blessed me through Dr. Prasad. God bless you all.
Thank you. Thank you. That's amazing. That's an amazing story.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
That's the best.
Well,
Wow.
So
Totally
I might
awesome.
live 100 years. I'm
yes,
very close to her.
yes.
Virginia, I'm excuse
You're going to go beyond that, Dr. Prasad, and we found that to be quite amazing. And I'm going to ask you just your comments about her and her situation here in just a minute, Dr. Prasad. But I've got to properly introduce you to our audience
Okay.
before we have our discussion here, Doctor. I want to welcome Dr. Kedar Prasad to our discussion. Dr. Prasad, it's almost a misnomer to say Dr. Prasad. This gentleman was the professor of the University of Colorado School of Medicine for some 30 years. So he taught doctors. This is Professor Prasad, folks. So he was a former president of the International Society of Cancer Nutrition, member of the British Society of Medicine. Actually, that's not correct. It's the Royal Society of Medicine or something there in the UK. He was also a member of the Nobel Peace Prize nominating committee in candidates of medicine, the world's first radiation biology PhD. His products have been awarded not 7, but 8 US patents on micronutrients. He discovered the anti-cancer potency of vitamin E succinate. Did you even know that there were multiple forms of vitamin E? I didn't know. Not only did Dr. Prasad know, he was the one who discovered that one particular one, oh, by the way, happens to fight cancer. What brilliance would it take to do that? He discovered that butyric acid, a small fatty acid formed by the fermentation of fibers in the gut, is an anti-cancer agent. Dr. Prasad has authored or co-authored 33 books, not 32. He's already working on another one. Been published more than 250 times in peer-reviewed publications. And so this man has forgotten more than most of us know. This is just a snapshot of some of the books that he has authored or co-authored. And you just take a screenshot of that and then hunt them down. My wife is still hunting down some of his books. We're adding them to our library. These are the two I'd recommend that you put on the top of your list. You can get them both on Amazon right now. The book on dementia, memory loss, how to prevent and improve treatment. I recommend that you get that before you forget, pun intended. It's an educational book written for the public. It provides easy to follow guidelines on how to prevent the risk, how to avoid the risk of memory loss. This book also provides recent scientific information on how to reduce the risk of memory loss and how to improve current drug treatment with the help of micronutrients. And I make sure that I take one product that Dr. Prasad is going to tell us about every time I do one of these presentations, because when I get into halting and groping for a word or trying to remember what it was I was going to try to say, this just brings all that to an end. So I'm taking that every day. It's like taking a double shot of espresso. So Dr. Prasad, thank you so much for joining us, and welcome to our discussion.
Thank you, Jonathan. It was really amazing to hear from Virginia at the age of 91 and has so much feeling better. You can't ask any better than that on the effectiveness of a particular micronutrient.
It has to be rewarding. You know,
It
for
was,
you to
yeah,
hear
and she
that,
was taking only 2 of them.
Dr. Prasad,
was
just
not-
barely 2 of your formulas. 2 of your
Yeah,
formulas is
yeah.
all she was taking.
And she didn't have even a probiotics, as you
No
can imagine.
probiotics, no collagen, no
Yeah.
omega, no nothing. All she's
No.
taking is micro daily and brain boost, Dr. Prasad. Help
Still,
us to understand how that can have that effect on this 91-year-old woman. How that's possible?
it is possible because as you grow older, the level of free radicals or oxidative stress and inflammation, she has a lot of arthritis issue because of the inflammation. And as you know, that even original formula that we had, they reduced these 2 free radical damage as well
Yes,
as
sir.
the inflammatory damage. And therefore, I'm not surprised. But new one, we have modified further, so it will have a much more effect and a quicker effect. And but still, she was very quickly responded it. So I would say that, because the main reason for those kind of things, and she looks like her brain is functioning very well because she can express herself.
Every
without using
detail.
anything. Yeah.
Every detail for Dr.
Detail,
Prasad.
that's why I
She
was
related
surprised.
every detail.
So I think that's amazing. And as you know, there is actually a clinical trial was made, but not a very good one, some kind of commercial product, because they gave them free, and so they tried that. And I looked, the formulation was not as good, but it was a multiple antioxidant of some kind. And still, in a clinical study supported by a National Institute, that's the first study NIH ever supported on a multiple antioxidant, because there at that time during my days, see that if you apply for more than one macronutrient, don't even forget about getting the grant. And we attempted a couple of times, never did it. But whenever I use second, then I always get it. one macronutrient at a time. And so in that report says it was a 3-month trial, and that the older people, as you know, they suffer episodal memory loss. That was their criteria of measurement.
Yeah.
And they may or may not develop the full-fledged Alzheimer dementia, and that has a different characteristic, different target damage, and different part of the neuron gets damaged. And they found that even in 3 months' time, they see the marked improvement. And these are older individuals, 70 years or older. Mm-hmm. And so that is the first clinical, and it was published in a JAMA, the first clinical study showing that use of a multiple macronutrient has a dramatic effect on a reducing memory loss. So the whole purpose of our product, Engage Global products, are that you maintain a optimal health while you are aging. And this is like Janet used to say, that aging, we can prevent aging. Nature has provided it. But you can, for example, if you take interaction and if you happily live, may live you few years more than expected.
Right.
Like, for example, average statistic of US is about 78.5 years. Average statistic for lifespan. But lifespan also has to be good quality life. Yeah, you can see that here is the data. You can see we are the worst one in this country. And the reason we are the worst one, because main contribution is that poor diet, and that creates a lot of inflammation, free radicals, and that creates a lot of health issues, and therefore you live earlier. Mm-hmm. So you can see that since early 40, despite the doubling of the ESA because of the new drugs and novel, because all those drugs treat symptoms, not the causes of the disease, but the symptom of the disease, which is very important for many times.
Right.
But our approach has been that at any stage of your life, whether you are taking medication or not taking medication, supplemental with micronutrient is always very good. There is one data was national statistic that 70% of the senior have at least one chronic disease, and more than 77% have at least two. You can imagine that So it is a real problem. And I think it is very easily what you call preventable problem, and maintaining a good quality of life if you start right from the beginning.
Right.
But
Right.
sometimes people say, well, I'm still okay, I'm doing well. Yeah, you are doing well, but you are progressing towards the, suppose you are in the 40s. The 40s people refuse to take vitamin.
Right.
Because I'm healthy, I'm working, I'm playing sports and all this kind of thing. Yeah. But as you grow older, gradually your body is deteriorating. You don't know it, but it is deteriorating.
That's
The
right.
question is, how do you do it?
That's right.
A recent statistic just came out that 61% of football players have a Parkinson's disease.
Oh my
The risk of
goodness.
Parkinson's disease in that population is 61%. That's amazing. But if you look what happens while they are playing, you could almost predict
That's
that
right.
will happen, not only Alzheimer, but other kind of neurological diseases they suffer as well. And so the question is, how we can reduce that risk, and that's why our whole program is dedicated to that mission. That while you are aging, and then we can go over individual product.
Yes, yes. And I got some screenshots of those products that you can tell us how they affect aging. But before we do that, could you just tell me this? This woman, Virginia, went from struggling to walk to the bathroom and back to walking, changing 3 planes. I mean, trains. She walked 2 to 3 blocks once, and then changed trains twice, traveling from one city all the way to Atlantic City, where I think New York to Atlantic City. And then she says at one of their gatherings, a birthday party or something,
she danced.
91-year-old woman is dancing, Dr. Prasad. By the way, her daughter sent me a video of her dancing. So I didn't incorporate it into this discussion right here because I didn't get the permission to show it, because it's going to be all over the world once I put it out there. This woman danced. How is this possible, Dr. Prasad?
No, it is because as you grow older, the intensity, severity of those two things, the increased free radical production or oxidative stress we call, and chronic inflammation, the intensity increases, and that causes all arthritic pain, back pain. I have a lower back pain too. And so that is, but I can go and walk. I can't play tennis anymore. But I can walk very easily. And so the question is, in this kind of product that we have, the main goal of those products is how to reduce the oxidative stress and chronic inflammation. Many other things they do that we don't even know it. Many function of antioxidant, we know only 2 for sure, but there are some other function. And for example, as you saw that in a trial that we did in Denver on heart disease, and you can see that they prevented the formation of plaque in the carotid artery. You can't explain by non-antioxidant mechanism. There must be some other repair mechanism that we are not aware of. So there are some new function of vitamin that we still don't know.
My goodness. So the godfather of micronutrients says that there's still some impact of micronutrients that has not yet been discovered. Did you guys hear that? There's things that we don't know yet about it. That's incredible.
So I think it is so important. And then you can see that includes DNA repair capacity is extremely important. And during aging, this telomere without telomere, the DNA chromosome cannot replicate precisely. And so on the top of the chromosomes, there is a sequence of DNA. So they get lost. Once they get lost, the cell can divide and they die. And so aging, they started shortening, is a little more rapid. Higher the oxidative stress, the higher the rate of losing the telomere from the chromosome. But if you use antioxidant in experimental system, you can use one agent at a time. They reduces the rate of the loss of telomere. This is very important to remember. So it has a multiple function. But turn out the rate of the loss of telomere is related to increase in oxidative stress. You can see even how important is oxidative stress mediating in so many pathways of damage.
Wow. Wow.
And
So
there's another problem in aging called autophagy. Autophagy is simply a mechanism by which the enzymes will remove all the dead cells, dead protein, not functional, all garbage. So you can say it is a garbage removal enzymes. And but antioxidant will activate that. And therefore, they will, now that they were not very doing a good job of removing all those things, now they can do it, remove it.
So really then, Dr. Prasad, everything on this list is associated with aging,
Yes.
not so gracefully. So
no,
these are the things that behind the scenes. So if we're trying to figure out why we feel bad, this is the list. This is the list.
This is
right
the list.
here
Exactly.
of
That
all
is
the stuff that's
exactly
going
it.
wrong.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And I'm glad that you made it so concise and put everything there in one place. Folks, you guys can take a screenshot of that one right there. You want to grab that because that's what's wrong with you. So if you're over 50, well, actually, even before age 50, this starts to happen.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
you
it's
start
it's
feeling
happening slowly. You may not feel it until you are 50 or 60s. But the
Right.
question is that our product that we have
Right.
developed can improve everything that you are listed there.
Right. Okay. Then let's tell us about it. Here's one of them. This is the microdaily EMF.
Yeah. You can see that we have showed in any human trial as well as in the animal model that it reduces oxidative stress. And if it does so, at least we know for that for that to happen, a single antioxidant, like most of the clinical study, has been tried with a single antioxidant and has produced either no effect or harmful effect. Very inconsistent. Therefore, but if you use a micro daily EMF that we have, then you don't have that problem. Why? Because it increases the antioxidant enzymes, which is like glutathione peroxidase, catalase, superoxide dismutase. These are the antioxidant enzymes, very important for destroying certain kind of free radicals. But you also need the antioxidant compounds like vitamin A, C, E, and alpha lipoic acid, coenzyme Q10, and so on. So our microdaily EMF has everything that will increase the antioxidant enzyme by activating nerve 2, as well as antioxidant compound. No other products in the marketplace can claim it.
That's just mind-boggling, folks, to have something that's at the highest level of functionality when it comes to antioxidant and fighting oxidative stress. And then you turned around and you added something for the gut that works hand in glove with EMF.
It's called intestinal gut dysbiosis. What happened, gut dysbiosis? The number of harmful bacteria increases. Then what happens? These harmful bacteria produce a lot of toxic chemical, like pro-inflammatory cytokines. As you know, you may have heard word cytokine storm during COVID-19. But it's not that level, but still it produces a lot of, and that will affect all organ in your body gradually. Right. And it is linked with the not only Alzheimer's disease, but I just submitted a revised manuscript on the same issue, on a diabetes, and even a diabetes, severity of diabetes related to the severity of dysbiosis in the gut. And dysbiosis is terminology. It just refers to the greater number of harmful bacteria than beneficial bacteria.
Versus bad. Sounds good.
And so probiotics that we have with prebiotics, they reverses that. When you take them, now you have a more number of beneficial bacteria, which produces certain B vitamins, neurotransmitters, vitamin K, all good stuff for your health. And also butyric acid, as you mentioned, Jonathan. And so it is very important to have always in your gut in favor of beneficial bacteria.
So how I feel, how I think, and my emotions is connected to what's going on in my gut.
Exactly. And
Wow.
there is a, there is a gut-brain axis, they call it. In
Mhm.
addition to, as you can see, that micro daily also provide or improve immune function. It improves DNA repair capacity and reduce the attrition. Attrition is the loss of telomere, which are unique to aging.
Right.
This is very important to know that a particular microdaily can do that. And collagen peptide would restore the loss of collagen and elastin, which are unique to aging. Loss is unique. You get wrinkled skin. But not only that, the collagen peptide has some unique function in both at least two diseases.
Uh-huh.
This you can see that in two diseases, namely Alzheimer and diabetes type 2.
Right.
And so because I will discuss sometime, but so the question is here that you provided at least Alzheimer disease, how to reduce it. So by micro daily EMF, brain boost is very important, because brain boost, some uniqueness of brain boost is that first why it happens, why you get the Alzheimer disease. If you know brain uses 20% of the respired oxygen, disproportionate amount. And when mitochondria, which is a tiny membranous structure in all nerve cell and every place else, they generate energy. They pick up oxygen and makes your energy. Without that, you don't have any energy.
Right.
But in that process, they release a lot of free radical as a byproduct. You can't avoid it. Not only that, the 2% of unused oxygen leaks out and generates billions of free radicals. So brain is always exposed to very high level of free radical damage. So you should have thought that, well, nature would have provided a high level of antioxidant defended. No,
Right.
brain has the lowest level. So in this case, these things contributes to development of Alzheimer, and they increase the production of beta amyloid protein, and so which is very damaging. And so we provided a brain boost. For example, we have a additional more powerful antioxidant like resveratrol, curcumin in a brain boost. We also provided two additional substrate. Substrate mean the food for mitochondria to make more energy. And third is that we provided in a brain boost two precursor of membrane. One is phosphatidylserine and phosphatidylcholine. Membrane must need these two things to make a new membrane. And when you have provided all these things, when new membranes are formed, now you also provided antioxidant, so they are protected. Before that, new membrane were not protected, and membranes are easily damaged by free radical. And so you can see how important it is to have both high level of antioxidant as well as the high level of a precursor of membrane, so that brain functions very nicely.
You have just convinced me that micro daily, collagen daily, and the brain boost are inseparable if I want to protect my brain.
Yeah. And one more that at that time we did not have it. One more thing is very important. Well, CBD is important, but before CBD, omega daily. Because at that time we didn't have omega daily, and I did not do much study on it, except we knew that it is essential fatty acid. Your body do not make it.
Yeah.
Your body does not make omega-3 fatty acid. You rely on diet. And it is DHA is so important that 40% of the fatty acid in your brain is DHA. You can imagine how much DHA is important, because they are used for a membrane.
40%?
Yeah, 40%. Because all the receptors, all the membrane require DHA and EPA. Where you get DHA and EPA, you can't get in a vegetarian diet. Vegetarian diet, you can get a alpha linolenic linolenic acid. I
Yeah.
always have a problem in pronouncing it. Linolenic acid.
That's all right. We know what you're talking about. It's that last item on that list of ingredients.
Yeah. So it is very important, but also important is omega-6.
Mm-hmm.
But omega-6, I have seen many formulations, they just add it without thinking about it. But omega-3, a small amount, is anti-inflammation, is a good for your health. But high amount is very harmful to your gut. Guess what? Western diet, including US diet, has the ratio of omega-3 and omega-6 is 1:10.
Wow.
And native Alaskan,
Wow.
Eskimos, true, their ratio is 1:1 because they eat a lot of salmon, a lot of fish. So,
Our diet,
huh?
you're saying our diet has way more omega-6, more omega-6 than we should have.
And if you are just a vegetarian, for example, then you will get the alpha and gamma linolenic acid. But the rate of conversion, omega-6 cannot convert to DHA and EPA.
Wow.
But linolenic acid or ALA, alpha linolenic acid, get converted so gradually, minimally, like 1%.
Wow.
So eventually your brain will have some higher level of enough to survive, but not optimally functioning that you will need to do while you are aging. And so I think this omega-3 is also a must for improving brain function, like brain boosters is must.
Well, tell me something, Dr. Prasad. Is it just my imagination, or is this omega having an effect on me? Because I've noticed that I don't need as much brain boost now that I'm taking the omega-3. I was taking 2 and 2.
Yeah.
But now when I take one of these, I feel like I'm just my brain is lit up. I feel sharp and clear.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because again, some of the function of that, as I said, brain boost could be replaced, for example, as a precursor of membrane. And so they work together. I mean, this omega-3 fatty acid and what we have some of the precursor of membrane that we have, they work together. They need each other. But if you don't have enough DHA, they may be not as functional. And so combination you do, then you can take one, one in the morning, one in the evening.
Oh, yeah.
Omega daily.
Well, that omega daily has been absolutely powerful as far as I'm
very
concerned.
Powerful addition.
And I have just absolutely been loving it. And by the way, I've noticed another thing, Dr. Prasad. I don't know if this was part of your plan, but I don't crave food like I was. I don't seem to crave junk. I don't find myself, wanting to eat all the time.
That's good.
I was literally around 12 or 1 o'clock and I didn't feel hungry, and I ate something because I thought it was just a good idea, not because I wanted to go and empty the refrigerator in my plate. So if anyone's wondering, I lost 4 pounds without even trying. I literally dropped from like 193 down to 189 like that. I wasn't even trying. So something's going on with this omega-3.
Again, the many function, as I said, there's some functions we know of DHA. And by the way, if you are a vegan and wants to have omega-3 fatty acid, vegan food would not give you. But you can take a omega isolated from the algae. But there you have to carefully make sure that they are free from heavy metal. Generally, when they purify it, the heavy metal like mercury and lead come with that as a contamination.
Yeah.
The preparation are like that. So make sure when you take from algae sources, then make sure they had been tested by somebody else, third-party testing, and they don't have mercury. Then they should be as good as, because fish don't make it. Fish eats the algae. That's why they get it already made, DHA and EPA.
Yeah, that's right. Interesting. Well, I was going to share another testimonial to wrap up our discussion.
Sure.
Just we may not have time for it because we got a couple of questions that folks will want to ask.
Sure.
But for those who are wondering about how to get the products that Dr. Prasad talked about, the other testimonies that I was going to share was Michi Morris, and Michi Morris's mom had suffered with Alzheimer's for about 10 years. And within just a few days of taking the brain boost, adding brain boost to her diet, she formulated a couple of sentences, and she started doing things and responding in ways that she had not responded before.
That's amazing.
Yeah, the family was just, flabbergasted by it. So, but it's just further reinforcing what you have just discussed with us. But
Yeah.
we'll do that one and maybe one or two other dimension ones on our next discussion when we approach the subject of anti-aging, when we do part 2. So, but for those of you who are wondering how to get the product, Dr. Prasad recommends this particular formula here. This is the most powerful formula. Now, Virginia Guilbeaux was using the original. I think she mentioned the green bottle. And she also one time mentioned EMF, I'm not sure, but I compare the green bottle to a firecracker, and this one I compare to a stick of TNT. This is pretty amazing. So you can get it on subscription for $83, and I highly recommend this one. This is one I give to my mother-in-law, and her pain levels went down almost right away. She's almost 93, by the way, so in just a few months she'll be 93. And she's taking less medication now than she was when she was in her 70s and her 80s. So she's doing much better. But whoever invited you to this discussion will tell you about these bundles. The basic bundle is the EMF and the probiotic daily. Now you can substitute the hydro EMF. So you got either the capsules, that's this one right here you're looking at that she's pointing to, that's the capsules of the microdaily EMF along with the probiotic daily. So Dr. Prasad says that's the basic. This is at the very minimum that you need to do if you want to have good health. If you want to step it up a notch, go with the premium bundle. Yeah. The premium bundle is the next level up. You can see it on the screen there. Just add the collagen daily to the discussion. My wife and I both do that. We're taking 1.5, personally, we're taking 1.5 scoops of that every day. But Dr. Prasad's formula says take 2/3 of a scoop once a day, and that's pretty good for prevention, but I've doubled it. My wife and I both, we doubled, we take twice as much as what Dr. Prasad recommends, because we've noticed a decrease in pain, increased mobility, and more flexibility with that. So and then if you really wanted to go with what Dr. Prasad highly recommends, that's the top level there. That's Dr. Prasad's Core 4. So the Core 4 includes the Omega Daily. You just heard him have a discussion as to why that's so important. And at first, I never will question what Dr. Prasad says. I'm just going to tell you that right off the bat. But I raised an eyebrow and said, yeah, I don't know about every single day, Dr. Prasad, taking an omega-3, but I bet you right now, I will not skip one day on omega-3. I'm taking that every single day, and I cannot believe, personally, the difference that it's making. I think it's making everything that I'm taking of the whole formula, I think it's making it all work better. I'm sitting down and I'm clear. I don't feel like I want to take a nap. I'm sitting down and I'm thinking. My creativity has come back. I'm conjuring up stuff. I'm making up to-do lists of things. You know how you have you ever been in that point, folks, where your get up and go feels like it got up and went? Well, mine came back, and I feel like doing things and following through on projects a whole lot more. So I highly recommend the Core 4. So just talk to the person who invited you to this discussion, and they will help you to get either one of those 3 combinations is what you want to go with. But obviously the Core 4 is what we most highly recommend. So, but we're going to take a couple of your questions right now, folks. And Bernard picked up a couple of questions out of the chat. So what's the first question there, Bernard? By the way, this is what we're discussing next week with Dr. Prasad. So if you want to make a note of that, folks, you can expect we're going to have a discussion next week about diabetes with Dr. Prasad. So what was the first question, Bernard? Oh, wait, we lost Bernard's lost his audio. I think one question I saw was, what about the importance of zinc, Dr. Prasad? So someone said, what about zinc?
We have a zinc, that's sufficient amount, and zinc important for you. But if you take an excess amount of zinc, that will prevent the absorption of other nutrients.
Okay.
For example, selenium. Selenium is also very important. So zinc, sufficient amount we have added, I think it is a 15 milligram. That is more than enough. And but if you start taking a 30, 40, 50 milligram of zinc, then can interfere with the absorption of selenium, which is extremely important
Extremely
as a factor for glutathione peroxidase. Yes.
Extremely important. All right. So that's very simple then. So this question about taking 7 different types of zinc is not good.
No.
What's needed has already been supplied in the formula, folks.
That's
so
right.
just stick with what Dr. Prasad has provided in his formula. So we got another question that came up. Bernard, you got the other one?
Yes, we have another one. If someone has basal cell carcinoma, is it okay to take CBD? And they're already using iBoost, Brain Boost, Daily Omega, and
Basal cell
Daily.
carcinoma, CBD has nothing to do with cancer at all, one way or the other. And so she can take, CBD. And basal cell carcinoma is very interesting. I would say that generally it is, in the white skin. Basal cell carcinoma is generally, white people have a more frequent. And so I remember that my wife used to have it. And when I discovered that time vitamin E succinate. And so I said, why don't you go and apply some vitamin E succinate? So a company made a cream of vitamin E succinate, a friend of mine in a company, vitamin E applied topically. Right now, for basal cell carcinoma, is retinoic acid is the treatment. Generally, they give, but retinoic toxic, if you have large surface, is very toxic. But vitamin E succinate has no toxicity, and it disappeared. And with retinoic acid, it will come back again. But vitamin E succinate for a long time, it didn't come back. And after that, she recovered, and so she didn't need to. So micro daily EMF, for example, we have sufficient amount of vitamin E succinate. But if somebody has a large surface area, I would say that they can dissolve it in some kind of like Jeff always suggests, coconut oil or something.
Coconut oil.
Something like that. And that will be very useful.
Very good. That's a good question. Thank you, Bernard, for that. We got another one?
Well, we got another one. People with gout, that is so painful, boy. Look like if you're going to touch them, they start hollering. Of course, cranberry juice they always talking about. So the question they're asking is, does microdaily products do any good for people with gout?
Well, I mean, nobody has done an experiment on that clinical study. I would say try for 3 months. And if it doesn't help you, don't take it.
So you want the people to become the testimony.
Experiments, yes. Guinea pig, yeah. Because no study has been done, so we don't know. I cannot predict what happened, but I know
I've got a client.
that gout, every disease that you have is oxidative free radical always contributed. Yep. And so directly or indirectly some other way. And so I would say that it will help, but I can't say for sure.
Oh, no, I can tell you, Dr. Prasad, anecdotally, I have a client that was taking the standard dose, 2 capsules twice a day, and was complaining that the gout wasn't improving. I told him to increase it by 1 capsule, never heard another complaint after that. So 3 capsules.
And Jeff had also several examples that it has helped them. Mm-hmm. But as a scientist, I cannot be sure.
Right.
That's why I said you try it like this, and if it works, continue it.
Okay, so since I'm not a scientist, folks, and all I am is the
moderator
and host of the discussion, I can tell you my suggestion on it. So my suggestion is you go ahead and you take at least a little bit more than Dr. Prasad's standard recommended amount, and you should.
Again, it's non-toxic, so it is okay.
That's right. It won't hurt you. Won't hurt you.
Well, Jonathan, Sherry Pratt asked something about D as in David. D3. I'm not sure what that is, but
vitamin D3.
Vitamin D is just another form of, that's the form body uses it. So vitamin D is the form that body uses it. So we always recommend, and we have vitamin D form, and so that is.
Yep.
John, go ahead. Jonathan, I just, on this, it seemed to be a question to come up over and over again, Dr. Prasad, as to whether some of the supplemental things that are taken, a lot of people are taking silver, a lot of people are taking things for iron supplement, a lot of people taking vitamins. They're kind of asking the question, in these products, do they really need any supplemental things to go along with the core 4 or anything else such as that? What do you recommend when it comes to that?
Answer is no, because other kind of, for example, supplement, mineral, any kind of diet you take, they provide more than enough for your body. But if somebody has, for other reasons, iron deficiency, anemia, then in that scenario, you take a supplement iron, and they recommend iron with vitamin C because they get absorbed better. And then you take these things a couple of hours after you take the antioxidant, because antioxidant, if anything, it will help to improve the absorption of your iron that you are taking. And once iron deficiency is corrected, then stop taking iron.
Well, another thing, Dr. Prasad, just to make it clear, the core 4 and all these products you have actually put together, and the company has done something wonderful lately. Those of you that's not on here, quite often, the company has actually put the bundles together to make it more affordable for everyone out there. And I thought it was interesting. They did that. There were a lot of people that were trying to mix the collagen or mix to this or mix to that. And the question that was asked is, does these products work as well if they go outside your formulations that you put together to work in a synergenic manner?
But until I know what other type of thing they want to take it, I cannot comment on that, because, for example, there is no need for that. But if somebody wants to have, for example, if somebody wants to have extra vitamin D3, for example, well, that I have it, but many people, because we don't go in sun, we always work in the office like I do.
Right.
And so they could develop vitamin D deficiency. So that's the only exception I allow, up to 5,000 international units of vitamin D outside our core 4.
Wow.
That's the only thing.
Nice. Okay,
That's
I didn't know that. Did you know that, Jonathan?
No, that's beautiful. I have suggested about 5, and sometimes I've said 10,000. But now that I see Dr. Prasad says 5,000 should be
5,000, because again, it is non-toxic, especially people in this country is all deficiency or sufficiency vitamin D3, millions, children also. By the way, children in the same way. And I want to emphasize also that it is not only just for the adult, but don't ignore for gummy, for the children.
Okay,
because
you see that question.
Children health right now is as important as parent health or grandparent health.
Yeah.
And now they are going to school, they will suffer a lot of cold, viruses. But if their immune system is good, they would not suffer it. They will have a huge chance. And here is the gummy. My granddaughter takes gummy. She seldom gets sick, but her all friends don't know about it. So they get sick, and then sometimes they stay away from their school. The parents have to worry about, take a doctor. So there's a lot of problem of parents. And so I always strongly recommend that for a kid who are going to school, you must give them a gummy.
Especially right now.
Back to you.
Especially right now. Bernard, thank you very much.
Because sometimes the flu season coming, sometimes this season is coming. You always infection is all around for all the time.
Everybody's worried about it right now. The RSV and the flu
there is
season
another
going back to school.
There is another variant of COVID-19,
BA.25 and something else come along. So there it is. So Dr. Prasad, thank you very much again, sir.
Thank you
for joining us. We can't thank you enough, and we appreciate so much what you bring to this company and have brought to our lives. Because many folks changing results. Folks are experiencing life-changing results as a consequence of taking your formulations and listening to your recommendations. So next week we'll be talking about diabetes, folks. Yeah, diabetes, folks. You do not want to miss next week. Dr. Prasad has got new research on diabetes. So be here for next week. We got a brief opportunity meeting in about 2 minutes. You guys can unmute. Thank you again, Dr. Prasad.
Sure. Bye-bye.
Folks can unmute if you want to.
Thank you, Dr. Prasad.
Thank you, Bernard.
Thank you, Dr. Prasad.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Jonathan.
Dr. Prasad.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Prasad. Thank you, Bernard and Jonathan.
Here, Jonathan.
Thank you, Dr.
Everyone, have a wonderful
Thank you,
Dr.
Prasad.
Prasad. Weekend.
Yes,
Bye-bye.
see you next week.
Bye-bye.
All right.
See you next week.
All right. Well, I want to thank everyone for coming. The ones give them a time to leave, but while you're leaving, maybe we could spot Jeff on here. Spot Jeff on here because Jeff has been momentous for me this week in helping me to actually help some people to actually come into this program. And Jeff.
No, I think we lost Jeff. He had to run to another meeting.
That's fine. I thought he was going to be here for a minute. Before we get started, because we're just going to have a couple minutes, what did you enjoy about today's presentation? We always do that, and it seemed to be a highlight of today.
Testimonial.
You got 30 seconds. 30 seconds. So if I interfere with your 30-second moment, it's not personal. Just making sure we get as many as possible. Somebody said the testimony. Anytime you get a 91-year-old to throw their stick over to the side, that's a huge factor. So I enjoyed that. Who else? Did someone have something else they specifically enjoyed today?
I always enjoy how thorough Dr. Prasad is in breaking down the synergistic of those other products and how they can benefit us.
Wow. I'm gonna tell you, it is. Dr. Prasad is just amazing. Today I was on, this week I was on with a couple, and I heard them talking to their people. And when I heard some of the experiences, I'm sitting up saying, man, I have never heard experiences like what I'm hearing about these products. So Dr. Prasad is definitely brilliant. Anyone else? Okay. Going once? Going twice?
I just want to say I really like the way they talk about how each product works along with one another. You can take one, but if you take the things together, they work together with each other. I really like it.
That's a good point, Stephanie. These products are designed to work together. Don't go out and get other brands and all that stuff, because this is tested and they're meant to actually work together. Now, we're going to go ahead into our opportunity presentation. And I think it is so wonderful, this arrangement. I'm going to tell you why. At the end of the day, if the product doesn't work, opportunities mean absolutely nothing. However, as we hear on here, people are getting some crazy results. They're anecdotal, they're atypical, but at the end of the day, the nice thing I love about these products is we're getting the results that we're getting more than the results that we're looking for, and people are enjoying sharing it. The only thing I'm gonna encourage everyone on here, because everyone stayed on here, let me see how many devices. You have 46 devices. If you're on here for business, and listen to me very carefully on this, if you're on here for business, it is so important to get your people to the 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock program, because what it's going to do is going to validate that you have something worth talking about and worth sharing. So that's the reason why, as I make sure that at least 10 people of my team and people that I'm talking to the product is actually on here. And as a result, my business is growing. Jonathan, you're on here, right? Let's get Jonathan on here. Jonathan, you introduced me to this about a year ago. The one thing that you found out about me, and you've known me for over 45 years. And the one thing you know about me is that I'm not enticed by just the money aspect. If I don't believe in the company, if I don't believe in the product, if I don't believe in the comp plan, I don't care how much you pay me, I'm not going to go out and talk about it. If I can't have fun, my fun is when I say something, my word means more than anything. Keeping a good name is a subject we've talked about lately. And keeping a good name means that you have to actually deliver more than you promise. This is the first time I've ever been with a company. I've been in this industry for 83, since 1983. And this is the first time that I have so many products, because I've had one or two at a time, but I've never had a group of products that work synergetically to actually help people in so many health fields. And I have people actually calling me up and crying only if they don't get their product. They don't call and say, you introduced something to me that just taking my money. They don't never say that. They always call me up and say, where's my products? I've never had that scenario until I came on with Engage Global. So my question is to you, from a business standpoint, why is it that people, for the first time in this industry, which is network marketing, I don't like multi-level because multi-level indicate stopping at some place.
Yeah.
This is the first one that I know that the company pay you for everybody that come on as a result of what you introduce. Why is it that people having such a phenomenal success with this?
Because the product works. Customer retention is the key, and it's easy to use. If you could, I was with a company that I made a lot of money with that company, my first real success with network marketing. And I had probably a total of somewhere around 7,000 in my entire downline. They weren't all active all at the same time, but 7,000 different people. That's pretty big. I had a group over in different parts of the country. So I'm flying all over the place, giving lectures on the immune system. But the one thing that I kept finding out, Bernard, was that folks just did not like going into a regimen every day where they had to go through a special mixing process to make their product work. They didn't like that.
Right,
but
right.
What Dr. Prasad came up with, something that's just a couple of capsules. You know, you take 3 capsules and that's great. That made it so much easier. So literally with just a few capsules, you get the power of something that you had to go through a special process with. That's what I'm seeing that folks are appreciating. Then you've got, I don't want to say real testimonials, because all testimonials are real. When someone says that that their blood pressure improved, they believe that's their reality. So whatever they think caused it, even if they were out there chewing on St. Augustine grass and they felt like it caused their blood pressure to improve, that's their reality. So we are getting, stories from people here that don't know each other, and they're all saying the same thing from different parts of the country, different parts of the world, all saying the same thing. So I think that that's one of the reasons why this is an opportunity whose time really is overdue. We're in a company that's been more than 10 years in existence and is really just getting off the ground good, Bernard.
Wow. Yeah, when you told me that it was less than 5,000, I thought about it and I said, wow. I thought at the time you were doing your network situation, I had 7,000. Now, what was interesting, I had 7,000 people that were customers and affiliates, but they all came from 6 people. I need y'all on here to hear this. They all came from 6 people.
Mine came from like 20 people. Wow.
Yeah, see, you put a bigger front line, but what I did was I found 6 people that looked at me and they said, man, this stuff working so great. I had omega-3 that I had so much phenomenal success. I went crazy. I went out buying houses and everything because it was crazy. And everybody, it took it about 3 weeks to work. And some of those people that I put on that omega-3 about 15 years ago, about 50% plus are still on it today. That's what's crazy. They're still on it. They don't even know about our omega-3 right now.
Yeah, boy, they will.
But they will. They will. Everybody that's on here right now, if you have not had that combination of micro daily, the omega-3 and probiotic, and if they can afford, throw that collagen in there. I'm telling you, got a lifetime customer that in time they're gonna go out and just like Virginia Guilbeaux, they're gonna go down the aisle with their little stick, and then they're gonna throw their little stick over the side, that little walk over the side, and they're out there doing these little dances at their little stepping clubs and stuff. They're doing it all over the place.
They're doing it.
But you know what? Go ahead, John.
Well, I was gonna say, like Virginia, the woman said she couldn't cut up an apple. She cut up an entire cabbage. Now I don't cook, But someone one day, I think that same night that she told her story, they said she cut up an entire cabbage.
It was crazy.
Apparently, that's no
crazy.
small task, you know, for a young, healthy person. This 90-year-old woman cut up her own cabbage and cooked it, and a whole bunch more.
And older people don't lie. Older people would tell you the truth.
No,
I'll never forget. Somebody told me, they said, hey, Bernard, they said, if you want to know whether a woman is good enough to marry, they said, don't talk to no man. They said, talk to an older lady. She'll tell you the truth. And that's what I did with my wife. And that's why I got such a good wife now. It's because I asked questions and I approached somebody and they said, I said, look, is she a good woman to marry? She looked at me, she said, she's my friend and you better take care of her. And I knew, I said, this was the woman for me. So now I don't want to take, we only got, well, we run a good time actually, because we usually run to 6:30. There is a video that you have that give everybody on here a good balance of what this business is all about. So before we continue this presentation, is it possible we could see that video and get an overall view of what this business is all about in this company? And
I don't know. I don't know.
You know, Jonathan,
take a brain boost.
Take a brain boost and take a brain boost, and you'd have had it on by now.
You just be the most impossible things. I just don't get it with you. You're so demanding, just so demanding. Let's see what we can do.
At Engage, we're redefining an entire industry. We're connecting our mission to bring health and wellness to the world with the world's most scientifically validated micronutrients, and our vision of creating a first of its kind enhanced affiliate pay plan where 100% of our affiliates can win and make real money. Our affiliate plan rewards you for enrolling customers, and our team builder plan rewards you for building a team of affiliates. You can do one or both. It's up to you, and both reward you unlike any other pay plan in the world. This whole thing works thanks to our loyal monthly subscribers who find such great results. They stay with us for much longer than industry standard. Retention. 1 month average 94%, with some months at 100%. 3 month average 72%. 12-month average 60%. This plan works so well, 45% of engaged affiliates make money within 90 days or less, compared to many companies where only 2 to 3% ever make any money, and 70% make zero. Here's how you make money with our enhanced affiliate pay plan. We pay 100% commissions on all enrollment orders with a subscription. Next, we've taken the guesswork out of success with our predictable pay plan. Predictable pay with Engage means you get paid on all your customers or team volume. Orders translate to volume, and that is how you get paid here at Engage. No levels, no MLM limitations and gotchas. We really pay on infinite volume, and it is paid on all orders in your organization. Every month, it's predictable. Build a customer network, and in addition to the all of it bonus, you'll make 10 to 30% customer monthly commissions on each customer order, depending on your rank. If you like to build and work with a team, we reward you for that in a way no other company offers. Build a team, and you'll make predictable team builder monthly commissions of $150,000 to $45,000 based on your team volume. You can also earn double bonuses each time you rank advanced during our double bonus periods. Keep an eye out for our special double bonus periods so that you can amplify your income. Are you tired of looking for something real? Find your home at Engage. Real products, real money, real goodness and hope. Contact the person who shared this with you to get started.
Wow. That is one of the most amazing explanations of this program, Jonathan, I've ever seen. And you know what? I look at this, I kind of smile with tears in my eyes, because if you had not actually introduced this, and then you have your other right-hand person on here, Afrida Strong. She's one of your leaders here too, and I have to bring her up because she has such. I listened to Alfreda along the way, and there's a few others. My wife is one of the leaders. I have to acknowledge her and Freddie, and there's so many of them. I kind of hate to actually bring them up, but my question is to you, Jonathan, and of course, Alfreda may even have a thought on this. Is when you first came in here, did you have the desire to do what we're doing now? Because I didn't when I came. I just want to take the product. And then all of a sudden, I realized that this opportunity existed. What was it that drove you to hang on to this company? And now you and I have got the train coming out the station. And maybe even when I'm free to be, we can get some brief comments on this, how we became leaders in this industry.
Bernard, what really made me just dive in, dig in, and work to get the word out was because the effectiveness that this product has on one particular area. So I happen to really just have a deep hatred for diabetes. And when I saw that Dr. Prasad was so brilliant that he put together a formula, he wasn't targeting, anything with diabetes, but one of the things that they observed in their clinical studies that everyone who was taking the product, all of them, their fasting sugar levels was under control and their A1C level was going down. They went and got a patent, so it's the patent with the word treatment for diabetes in it for the original formula, military micronutrient formula. So I connect that to the product that we have today. And Jeff Ashby, when he was giving me a presentation, I said, tell me about that patent. I said, I really don't want to hear anything else in your presentation. So, and at the time, I wasn't really even concerned about the money side of it because it was just wasn't important. He said, who do you know that's got diabetes? I said, who doesn't have diabetes? And I gave him 4 names and 4 addresses off the top of my head. Wow. And he expressed 4 bottles of the product. I think they came in boxes or bags at the time. To all those people, I called them up and I said, hey, there's a product coming. I need you to try it out. It's supposed to be, it's got a patent for treating diabetes. They said, how do I use it? That's all they said. And every one of them within 2 weeks all said the same thing, that their fasting sugar levels had never been that controlled before. So my objective has been, although mind you, I love what it does for Virginia Guilbeaux of the world. I love what it did for you and being able to walk around the block 3 or 4 times or however many miles you do now. I love what it did for your wife. I love what it does for me, my wife. But I do cartwheels. I get excited. Everything in me just fires off when I see it gets somebody off some sort of a diabetes medication.
Wow.
Because
wow.
The side effects of that is what took my mother. And I still, to this day, I blame, side effects of certain medications for taking my mother. And I love just seeing anybody say that their A1C, the doctor has taken them off their medication. If the doctor does, I don't want anybody ever stop the medication. But if the doctors are taking them off of it, I feel like my mission is accomplished if I never make a dime.
And Jonathan, it's interesting you say that because there are a lot of people that are taking off their medication, and people noted what he said. The doctors did it. If you come in and you find that these natural products are bringing down your A1C or whatever, the doctor just said, whatever that natural thing is, you need to get off of it a little bit more and let the medication work. No, none's going to tell you that.
Go get another doctor.
Yeah, go get another doctor if you get someone like that. But going back to the opportunity, Michael asked a question. I think it was a good question. When a person comes on and they got this subscriptions going on and people are actually on the product, do the company only pay one time or is there a residual income?
There's residual. Residual is a big deal because you can work one time and get paid over and over and over again. I wasn't even working this business for quite a while. There was a gap of about 4 years for me that I was not working in this company, but I kept getting a check, just kept getting paid for the folks that I had introduced to the product. And they all kept telling me about the results. In fact, it was Alfreda who called me up and says, hey, I got a family, 4 people that I'd like for you to explain, how microdaily works to them. And she knows that I hadn't, been doing any microdaily presentations in at least 3 or 4 years at the time.
Mhm.
So, but she wanted me to talk to these 4 people. I said, okay, no problem. Just here's a Zoom link, and how about this day, this time? She said, okay, great. And I think it was a Saturday afternoon, and it was Wednesday or Thursday when she asked me to give her a time slot. So by Thursday, she says, okay, I'm up to 20 people now. How many do you have coming? I said, coming to what? I thought you said you wanted me to talk to 4 people. She said, well, I figured if you're talking to 4, you might as well talk to 40. And I said, you got to be kidding me. She said, yeah, you need to just invite everybody. Now here it is, the tail wagging the dog now, right? So she says, you need to go ahead and invite everybody to this thing. So sure enough, must have been about 50 or 60 people that came to this meeting where I'm only supposed to be talking to 4 people. And every one of them said that they had folks that they could bring the next week. So that's what got the thing rolling. And Alfreda is that way. She influences people, not because she's trying to again get into their pocketbook, but because she knows they need what this product does. The products work. We can talk all day and all night, about opportunity. Bottom line is the product works, and it only costs $50 to get involved and legally be able to tell other people about it. And you don't have to tell them anything. Those who are here, you just bring them to the meeting on Sunday. We'll send them back to you gift wrap, because every time so far, whenever new people come that are curious about it, they go back to the person who invited them and say, how do I get that stuff? That's all they say. They don't ask prices. How do I get that stuff? Period.
Wonderful. One thing that's very important is timing and stability of the company. The company's been around since 2012, and they, by the way, have announced that next month, I don't know whether you keep up with your business, but I do. Next month, there's going to be a huge double bonus announcement, and they say they need everyone there because it's going to even blow out what we went through so far. This company literally is paying money that you will not believe to people that simply go out and invite people to come in and actually see how wonderful this company and products is. But now companies generally don't last for 2 to 3 years, but this company has been around since 2012
and going nowhere.
So the question I think everyone is asking, and we only got about 2 minutes as far as maybe 1 minute, they may have a question or two, is why is it a good opportunity? You got the pandemic going on, so people immune system is crashing. You got all of these sicknesses that are showing up out of nowhere. The mortality rate, people dying, has increased 20% since this thing began. But if you'll notice, everyone that has been on Micro Daily or Engage Global products, you've never heard nobody come on here and says, my person was on Micro Daily Play and they all just died. You're not
Never
hearing
happens.
that.
Never
You're
happens.
actually hearing that people they may catch some of this stuff, but their immune system is strong enough to fight it. So why is it, would you say to everybody on here in conclusion, that it's the right time, it's the right product, it's the right situation, it's the right result, it's the right comp plan for everyone to take a serious look at it? And by the way, you need to meet with your team and get them on here on Sunday, because if you invite your people, I promise you, they are going to actually go out and promote your business, and you're going to grow automatically. Why would you say, in conclusion, it's the right timing on this?
Couldn't be easier right now, Bernard. It could not be easier. You don't have to sell this product. You really just can tell. You're not selling, just tell. Just say to someone, in fact, I saw someone today, the woman was holding her wrist like this. I said, what's wrong? You got carpal tunnel? She said, yeah, it's really painful right now. I said, would you like to hear about something natural that would help? She says, are you kidding me? Yeah, what? Just send me any information you have. I don't have to sell her anything. I'm just going to tell her what to do. Yesterday, I'm on the phone with another gentleman, and same thing. He had this problem, that problem. I said, have you tried Dr. Prasad's omega-3 yet? No, tell me about it. He says, are you kidding me? And then I by the way, for anyone who's here right now, you really want to help somebody. You want to help them for free. Give them something free that changes their life. I'm going to tell you something that's free right now that will change their life. Tell everybody you know to stop using vegetable oil. I know that sounds crazy. Crisco and vegetable oil. Tell them to stop using it right now. Because did you hear Dr. Prasad earlier talking about an excess amount of omega-6? Well, guess what vegetable oil does? Polyunsaturated fats, elevated amounts of omega-6. All of that is killing us right now. Just advise people to switch from all their vegetable oils over to coconut oil and what's the other one? Olive oil. All right, extra virgin olive. Just tell them make that change by itself. Their health will start to increase right then. That one piece of advice, then they'll want to know what else you want. You can tell them. And you can tell from that point on, micronutrients that's missing from the diet. This is the time today, right now, where this country has opened the door for an opportunity like this to come along. It's free information.
There you go. And meet with your people and let them know this information. To close it out, Elizabeth, you got a 30-second comment?
Yes.
Got to unmute. Oh, go ahead.
I wanted to tell you and Jonathan and everybody else about this friend of mine in Alabama who had the blood clot in her lung that was encapsulated by a calcium deposit. When she went back to her cardiologist, they were getting ready to send her to Birmingham, Alabama for surgery because none of the stuff they had been giving her had worked. So she goes to her doctor. She has the exam, the MRI or whatever it was they did. She waits 40 minutes. They come into the room. The doctor says, I have good news for you. The blood clot is gone. No surgery.
Happening this weekend.
So she has recommended people from New York to Florida to learn about this product. And I've been sending out videos to all these people, probably about 10 people. So
that hydro is no joke. That micro daily hydro EMF, if you haven't tried it, try it. Thank you, Elizabeth. We're going to have to move on. But, you know, I've heard some crazy things, and we look forward to entertaining that. And Deborah, you got a minute?
Just 30 seconds. I really appreciate you guys. I'm a retired PA, and my patients are OBGYN. They're pregnant women, so we can't give them certain drugs. So they come to me, what can I do natural? So I've been doing this for over 35 years. This program is an answer to my prayer to share with pregnant women. I had one client, I only do 1 day a week. So she says, can I take the micro daily as a prenatal vitamin? So I talked to John. I said, probably so, but let me check first. And so he told me, yeah, so it's on, guys, it's on.
Thank you so much, Deborah. What a fitting end. Jonathan, take us, concluding comment, take us to the end. We're ready to roll. And I think all of us are excited and ready to go.
I know I 100% agree with you, Bernard. And it's, again, all we can say is it's thrilling. We are at the right place at the right time right now, folks. If you care about people,
Gretchen, we'll get you next week. How about that?
Now I have a way to tell people how much you care.
Yeah. Thank y'all all for coming on. Thank everybody for coming on. Make your business a success. Get those people to these presentations. Thank you so much.
Diabetes next Sunday. Diabetes next Sunday. Everybody.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Jonathan. Love you guys.
Same here. Love you too. Love you too. All right.
Thanks, Jonathan.
And my team,
Bye-bye.
I'll be training on my team. My team, check out. I'll be training a little bit tonight. All right. Good night, everybody.
Tuesday night presentation for anyone who wants to bring your people. You want to bring them to a presentation. Tuesday night, I'll be doing it live. All right.
Tuesday night presentation live, everyone. Everybody take care.
Thanks.
That's just for me.
Thank you.